So I thought I'd come back and do a video on how I sharpen blades, which could be helpful to you. I usually use the rope test. The rope test shows me for sure if that knife is sharp. I've got the paper here, but I usually just rip paper. So, I mean, it's convenient for, a quick show of how sharp your blade is. But usually what I use is a nice stone. This one has 400 on one side and 1,000 on the other. So you're going to start out with your 400 when you have a really dull blade. I bought this knife and he said it was sharp as anything, okay, at a flea market, which I like the blade and all, Damascus and all, full tang. But this blade is really hard. So this blade's going to take a lot to sharpen. And when I got it, he might have thought it was sharp, but it wasn't as sharp as I like it. So what I normally do is take on the 400 side, and I do a rolling pattern because it's easier for me. You got to keep the blade slanted, if you could see. So it's easier for me to do this rolling pattern and to keep that angle consistent on the blade. Okay? So once you do the 400 side, you're comfortable with that, you turn it around and you do it on the 1,000 side. Do the same thing. I roll the blade, okay, and keep doing that for a couple times. Make sure your angle's on. You can see my angle on there. All right. And so after I get done with doing my stone, I usually use a diamond stick. A diamond stick is much better than a steel stick. These diamond sticks are amazing. I use this to keep my kitchen knife sharp. Kitchen knife. I always warn anybody working in the kitchen that the blades are really sharp, so be careful, because I've had people get cut. But this thing, you're just going to take and run your blade over it. Same angle. You got to have the same angle on it. And then I use the rope test. This is the rope test to get me a piece of rope. I mean, it's going to take a lot for any blade to cut through this whole rope, but I just take one strand of the rope, okay, and we're going to try to cut through it. So this blade, as you can see, still needs sharpening, but it's going to take time to get this thing sharp as I want it. Now I've done this to my everyday carry, which is a folding knife, okay, and I've gone through all the procedures. And as you can see, it took a couple pulls, but it did go through pretty cleanly. My kitchen knife, I always keep pretty sharp. All right, so let's try that. So that goes through pretty quick. Like I said, my kitchen knives I keep pretty sharp. Now you ask about these small sharpeners. These for me are only good when you're out, you're out hunting, or you're doing your stuff out, fixing stuff or whatever. Your knife gets dull, you got to resharpen it. You just run it through here a couple times. But I never use these as my major sharpener, because for one, I shake too much, and for two, they never seem to come out sharp enough. It's got two sides, just like this. It's got the side, the rough side, where you start out with to get the blade pretty much sharp, and then you got your ceramic side. So you're going to do a couple pulls through there, depending on how dull it is. And then as you can see, use my rope test here. This thing actually cuts worse now. So I had a pretty nice blade. You saw it took me 2 pulls through the rope to get through it. Now the thing is actually duller than it was. So these things, to me, like I said, are good if you mess up your blade on the trail and you need something real quick to get it back kind of in shape so it will cut something. But if you want a sharp edge on your blade, a sharp blade, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Like I said, you're going to take this stone and just, I use a circular motion. Okay, both sides. And then folks, if you don't have yourself a diamond stick, you got to go. You can get these at any hunting show, any gun show. That's where I pick up most of my good ones. You can even order them online. But the gun shows usually have a really nice diamond stick that you can pick up. You just run it over that a couple times. All right, then we're going to pull through. That's what gets the job done. I'm serious. This old-fashioned way and this diamond stick will put an edge on your knife that is unbelievable. Give it a try. Thanks for coming.